TO Sports Talk episode 14 coming at you live here, and
it is a hot one. It is a hot one today.
It is hot in the city of Toronto right now.
God.
How you guys doing? I'm James Price, your host, along with my buddy Evan Brown. How's it going, buddy?
Sweating inside the studio right
Tell me
now,
about it.
but that don't matter. We're gonna start with the Blue Jays. And
we're starting with the Blue Jays and how the team is a roller coaster ride, and we're gonna break down the top 30 prospects for the Blue Jays.
Okay,
it's more fun for Jays fans, right? Talking about this year isn't really fun. Talking about these guys is fun.
And also with the Leafs, not too much to talk about with the whole Leafs, but the Marlies are a different story. They are in the Calder Cup Finals versus the Texas Stars. We're going to be breaking that series down for you. And the Leafs prospects, the Marlies, are absolutely tearing up. Andreas Johnsson, all the boys there. And also going through, the Vegas Golden Knights are 3 wins away from winning the Stanley Cup. So we're going to be breaking down all that good stuff for you guys. And for the Raptors,
well, we'll be talking about the Raptors and possible free agents they should go after. Even some restricted free agents that they should try and match. And we'll talk about the NBA Finals once again, 4 straight. We'll talk about how we both feel about that, obviously in the last segment of the podcast. But like we said,
we're going to have questions afterwards. Not too many questions this time, so it may be a little bit shorter. But, because that, nothing's really happening in Toronto sports, if you will.
Not a whole lot of good things.
That don't matter.
We're going to start right off with the Blue Jays.
Now,
and we're not going to jump right into the prospects because we have to talk about the team just a little bit.
A little bit. Very, very streaky like always.
Well, you look at the way this team has gone. And you look at the way this team has kind of been as of late. They're up and down like a toilet seat. And I said that in my video, and people thought it was funny, but it's true.
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
You look at the way they won that series against the Philadelphia Phillies. They won the first game by some great starting pitching, but the bullpen faltered, but they barely hung on.
And then the second game, they couldn't get a hit.
Right, couldn't get a hit, and Garcia was fantastic on the mound. The bullpen was great. Everything was fantastic. Okay. I mean, when you lose a 2-1 game and go 7 strong innings of only 1 run ball, I mean, that's very, very good. And then in the finale of the series, you saw J. Happ do his thing. The Jays barely get enough offense, but he pitches well enough, and the Jays get the job done. And yesterday against the Red Sox, Aaron Sanchez, the starting pitcher, gets lit up.
Well, it's against Boston. It's against the Red Sox, so you can only expect that much. And Aaron Sanchez as a whole, this season, I wasn't expecting much from Aaron Sanchez.
No, because obviously he didn't pitch it all last year, so that's kind of what you expected. But it's just, we never know what we're going to see. And anybody who watches the videos will know that I say this over and over again.
Well, this is what we expected when the season actually started, right? Because
we didn't expect them to be that good.
They're, 3-4 games below 500 now? 4 games below 500?
It's 4 or 5.
I was kind of expecting that. I wasn't expecting them to be as bad as last year, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
right? But because it is pretty difficult, and I don't think we would have as many injuries as last season. But again, I wasn't expecting us to make the wild card. I know you said you would.
I said if the starting pitching is healthy and consistently good, that they have an opportunity to do so.
See, we haven't been bad. Don't get me wrong, but in our last 5, what were we? 4 and 6 ish. I'll look that up.
Lines. In our last, I think we're 3 and 7.
Oh, okay.
But we won our last series. Yeah,
3 and 7.
3 and 7. We won our last series. If there's any consolation to that.
This is getting swept by Oakland. And then afterwards,
you lose to the Angels, a very struggling team at the time who had lost 5 straight going into that series. And you can say at least 2 of those games against Oakland and against the Angels that you should have had. You had a 3-1 lead in the 9th inning against the Angels. You had a 4-0 lead against Oakland in the 8th inning, and you blew both of them. Those are games you got to lock down. And that's where we miss Roberto Osuna. Now, I'm not going to say, pity, he should be here. The court date hasn't even happened. They keep saying they keep extending his leave, and I'm like, I don't expect him to come back this year.
At this point, and I know people have been speculating this, but trading Roberto Osuna. No. Now, one of
the best young closers in the game, just because, yes, he's having this thing right now.
Yes, he shouldn't be, And
wouldn't his trade value be down? If he's not even going to be playing at all this year? It's kind of stupid.
And at this point for the Jays, why would you want to give up a young, very, very promising bullpen reliever?
And you're one of the best closers in the game right now. Yeah. And you don't want to do that kind of stuff. But something I want to get on, and I want to talk about a little bit. And we talk about the outfielding situation with Granderson, Hernandez, Pilar. And you see
even
other
Dwight
guys.
Smith Jr.
You see other guys out there. You see Russell Martin played his first start in left field last night.
Someone was playing shortstop the other.
Russell Martin did as well.
Martin.
The short. You know what? We're really seeing the whole of Troy Tulowitzki.
But the thing is that why don't the Jays step up and maybe make a trade for a fringe shortstop. Like, I don't get it. Like, why are they playing these guys out of position? And that's what I think is
because I think Shapiro and Atkins are too scared to make a move. That's my opinion on that.
Make a move for a guy that's not, he's not looked at as an all-star shortstop. Well, just look at a guy to fill a hole.
They get Gio Urshela, but he's naturally a third baseman, so that really doesn't help you. But see, again, they did in the offseason. We knew Tulowitzki was going to be him. We didn't know what he was going to do when the offseason was going on.
So they knew
went after Aledmys Diaz,
a
shortstop, because they didn't trust Troy Tulowitzki. Well, he went on the DL. Good news about Aledmys Diaz, however, I think he's on a rehab assignment now. Yeah, so yesterday he's set to do a rehab stint. That's very good to see. On Monday, he is going to be playing for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats in Double-A. So he'll be back next week sometime, hopefully.
How old is he?
I think he's 27. So still a fairly young guy there. But you're really seeing the whole of Troy Tulowitzki now.
But
having Russell Martin play short, Solarte,
even
Donaldson,
claiming a shortstop off waivers. I don't know.
Well, that's what they did with Gio Urshela, but or they think they traded for him for like cash or something. But he hasn't really been anything special. He's naturally a third baseman. So I don't know. It's tough to say when it comes to that, but they're playing all over the place right now.
But see, right now the Jays, I'm quite kind of surprised. Again, fill a hole. It doesn't even have to be like an all-star shortstop.
They've tried to work with it in the system. They've tried to bring up Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Richard Urania. That didn't work. Look, Gurriel's got some very promising future. He's a very young guy. They signed him to that big deal out of Cuba, and he's a very good-looking young player, but
he's young.
He's not ready yet. Clearly. You saw that.
So fill a hole right now, and like you said, for cash. Give up cash. Give up something for an actual shortstop, not a third baseman who can play shortstop.
Barely. He's actually a third baseman. He's played, 30
so
games
why would
in his
they do
career
that?
There?
So why would they do that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly have no
idea. I question the moves.
And then I question John Gibbons a little bit here. Now, I don't usually do this quite often, but I'm going to do it here. You look at the Grandersons, Grimbin, okay.
Yeah.
He's been struggling as of late.
Right.
You look at Hernandez. He's been actually, I think he's been really struggling as of late. Oh no, 252 average, so he went up a little bit. Did he get a couple hits? He got a couple hits yesterday. That's why. Pilar's been great. But then I look at Dwight Smith Jr. and from the moment this guy came up to the big leagues last season, he was tearing the ball off the cover last year in September when he came up.
Last season.
And then he starts the year in AAA, which was expected.
Yeah.
But then when he comes up here, he's hitting the ball very well. He's done a great job. He's hitting 276 with the team. He's got 4 doubles. He's got 4 RBIs in 13 games. He doesn't strike out a lot.
He's going to fall back down to earth? Because I think he...
But why aren't they playing him?
Yeah.
When they play him, he doesn't do that bad.
Kind of reminds me of a Dwayne Casey.
It doesn't really make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yesterday, seeing the Jays offense the way it was, and I'm not... After Dwight Smith Jr. in the previous game... 1 for 3, and I think he had a home run, or he went 2 for. He had 2 RBIs in the ball game.
Right.
2-run double to break that game open against the Philadelphia Phillies, and then you sit him the next day. I don't get it. When a guy's playing well, you play him. That's just my opinion on that. I mean, that's
and like
just,
I said, John Gibbons kind of reminds me of a Dwayne Casey. If someone who's not supposed to be doing good is playing well like a bench guy,
right,
then they don't roll with him.
And something we got to talk about. Kendrys Morales.
Is he going to be the next starting pitcher?
Oh my God. You've got to be kidding me. This season is a joke already when you have that guy pitching. We've been talking trash about him all year.
And the thing is about the league thinks the Blue Jays are a laughingstock now for doing that.
Well, we think we're a laughingstock for making him Morales. We've been chirping this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Credits to him. He's hitting a little bit better now.
Well,
last time we talked, he was hitting 140. He's hitting 181 now. I know. Still not great, but he has done all right as of late.
Now, I know this is ridiculous sounding, but if he's a good pitcher, why not?
No, just 1 inning and it was a fluke. We're not going to talk about that at all. But the way this team has been, it's so inconsistent.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Is it the hitting?
It's everything. You look at one of the games
now, this is why I don't have really trust in this team, because
you look at game 1 against the Phillies. They had 6 runs on 11 hits. They were killing the ball. They had 3 doubles in the first inning. They were like, "What is this?" The next game, you get 1 run and you get 3 hits total.
See, a good team, if you're picky, like a Boston Red Sox or Yankees, Astros, whatever, if you can kind of pinpoint one thing that team kind of but. With the Jays, it's like it's everything. It's everything with the blade.
But every day it's something different.
which isn't good.
Which one day the bullpen falters, but the
Right.
starting pitching was great. Next day the starting pitching sucks. Then the next day the bats can't do anything.
Right.
It's not just one thing. And back in the day, yes, the Jays pitching wasn't great, but the offense was able to carry it.
Yeah.
They can't do that now.
No, because without Jose.
Without Jose, Edwin.
Oh, speaking of Jose, he got signed by the Mets. Did you see that?
He's playing pretty well over there.
I'm surprised he got released by the Braves.
And I'm surprised he got signed after getting released.
You think?
From a minor?
He still has.
He
some
got
little
released
juice
by a
left.
minor league contract.
I know, but I feel like he still has some juice.
I mean,
left.
all the power to him. I'm not going to deny that at all.
It just looks
Great
so
job.
weird him seeing in a Mets jersey. I mean, and, one of those pinstripe jerseys.
It's very weird. It's very, very weird.
Yeah.
So now we're going to get to the fun stuff for Jays fans. Instead of talking about the miserable stuff about
because,
the Toronto
like you
Blue
said,
Jays,
there's not that much to talk about. Your famous line.
Well, because is there? I mean, really? Come on. So we're going to start off with the top 30 prospects for the Blue Jays. We know who's number one.
Put the phone right here so I can see
Vladdy
too.
Guerrero Jr. Now, a lot of people, are saying he's a stud, and I agree 100%. Buddy,
every
he's hitting
podcast.
433 with almost a 500 OBP, a 481 on base percentage. He's got 10 home runs, 50 RBIs in only 46 games, 18 doubles.
This guy could be a full-time Blue Jay,
And he's only walked 20 times. He's only struck out 20 times in 46 games. That is 178 at bats. 20 strikeouts.
Yeah.
That is ridiculously good. And a lot of people are saying, well, is he going to be that good? Like people say. Well, put into perspective, Mike Trout, when he was in Double-A.
Oh, so he was the last person to hit the same numbers as Vladdy G.
No. See, the funny thing is that I don't know about those numbers, but I'm going to compare it to Mike Trout. When he was in Double-A, before he came up to the big leagues, he hit 320. Vladdy's hitting 433.
Well, you are kind of comparing numbers.
Right, but not to who had this average back in Double-A, because that person could have gone nowhere. I don't really look up that stat. I'm looking at Mike Trout. He's an MVP. He's an all-star.
Wasn't Mike Trout drafted or sought off to be because when we signed this guy out of what was it?
Vladdy?
Yeah, he wasn't looked at as a.
He had some power, raw talent, looked good, but you really didn't know.
His dad was in the bigs.
He was 15, 16 years old. You're like, he's got some
Mike.
raw.
Yeah.
Who knows what can happen?
Yeah, right.
With Mike Trout in Double-A, he only hit 320, which is great. Like, it's fantastic. But Vladdy's hitting
around the same age,
433. Yeah, about the same age actually. 433 Vladdy's hitting. That is insane.
And who's better than Mike Trout right now? Well,
not many people.
Players, but yeah.
I mean, you could pick and choose depending on who you like. Really, Bryce Harper's better. Well, I don't know about that. Manny Machado's better. I'm not too sure about it. Chris Bryant, Rizzo. I don't know. There's so many other names you could throw out there, but I think Mike Trout is still one of the best in the league.
And see, 1 and 2, third base, and shortstop.
Slot second base. But I think if you have Devin Travis, he'll play short, no problem. But Bo Bichette. He was struggling last time we talked to the podcast, only hitting 240. He was really struggling hard. He's now up to 264. He's doing better, but his on-base percentage is 344. Anything over 320, 330 is pretty good. So he's doing a fine job down there.
Now, does it kind of drop off after the second best prospect in our pool, Bo Bichette?
After the second one, it's kind of, we're not sure.
Okay. So we're pretty much sure about these two
Both
guys.
They're going to be studs. Okay. That's just that. Next up is Anthony Alford, the third overall guy. He's come up with the big leagues a few times.
He was the third overall pick, eh?
Yeah, well, he was a former football player. He chose baseball over football. 23 years old now. He's in AAA Buffalo. But he is struggling down there in Buffalo. Only in 145. But
what age would you consider like a baseball player to be like a bust? Because I know hockey and basketball are pretty much the same, 24-ish.
It's tough to say because everybody kind of... Justin Smoak was the number one overall pick, but he just had a good year last year.
And now he's continuing
Exactly.
That,
So it's really hard to say when it comes to baseball. But I mean, look, I think Anthony Alford just started playing full-time baseball a couple of years ago.
So he has to get some time.
Right, and he's in AAA Buffalo.
And he was drafted when, 2013? Or 2012?
Is it 13 or 12?
13.
2012.
Oh, 12, okay.
He was a third round pick. He was a third round pick.
Not a third overall pick.
That's what it looked like. But anyways, he's in AAA Buffalo.
Okay.
His numbers are all right. Not the greatest, though. I mean, he doesn't have a home run. He doesn't have a triple. He's got 1 double, 11 hits in 21 games. Not the greatest.
No.
But that can change at any point in time. And that's like... if he goes on a week of a...
With any of these prospects,
it
can change any time.
Now, the one that heartbreaks Jays fans, Nate Pearson, the right-handed pitcher drafted last year.
He's injured still, right?
He is injured. He'll be gone for most of the season. It was a terrible injury. He had a line drive right off the arm, and it broke something up in his elbow or in his
He's still
shoulder.
young, too, isn't he?
Yeah, 21 years old. He was a first-round pick last year. The reason we got that first-round pick, compensation pick, for Cleveland signing Edwin.
Oh,
So that's how we got him.
Even though
number 5, Logan Warmoth.
Was Edwin a restricted or unrestricted free agent?
He was unrestricted, but he had a draft pick attached to him. That's when him and Jose hit free agency.
Yeah.
They both had draft picks attached.
Of course,
no one wanted to give up a draft pick for Jose.
But Edwin's a different story because he's years younger and he has more firepower at that point of his career.
Now with Nate Pearson, that's a tough loss. I mean, he was looking for a breakout year. I think he was playing in what? I think he was playing in Dunedin.
And he was playing good, wasn't he?
He only played one start, and that was it. He only pitched an inning and 2/3, 5 hits, and that was that game.
Okay.
So that's tough for him. It's really tough for him. Next up, number 5, Logan Warmoth. This guy was our first round pick last year as well, with Nate Pearson, 22nd overall. He's in high A Dunedin. He's only hitting 243, but again,
he's
still
only
22
young,
years of age.
And he's another shortstop.
And he is a DL. He's on the DL right now. I don't know the significance of his injury.
He's a lot of injuries, so that's...
Yeah, it's really depleting this team.
Yeah.
And the guy that I have preached about last year on the channel, and I will continue to do so, Danny Jansen. This guy's story is fantastic. He's in A-ball.
Is that a 16th round pick?
Correct.
Wow.
And the funny thing is, he is, last year he was in A-ball, Dunedin, whatever, not really playing the greatest. We knew he's a great defender, but his offense was nowhere to be found.
Right.
Then they checked his eyes. He needed glasses. Not like the Kendrys Morales situation. I know you were going to get to that. That is not what I'm talking about. They try it, and he tears apart Dunedin last year, goes to Double-A New Hampshire, rips that apart, then goes up to Triple-A Buffalo last year, and really does play well. Obviously, there again to start this year. Funny thing is, after not really being anything a couple years ago, he's number 5 on the top 10 prospect catchers in the league. Oh. And in Buffalo,
so maybe a Russell Martin replacement.
That's what I'm thinking. In Buffalo, he's hitting .331, a .438 on base percentage. I mean, he's playing fantastic.
Hopefully he doesn't get injured. Knock on wood.
Yeah, tell me about it. He's not in the DL right now, so that's a good thing. And going on, we won't be much longer. I just want to get through the main prospects. Ryan Barucki, a guy who ripped through the system last year.
Yeah, I know.
Turned eyes a lot. Very good.
What's that overall 50? What's that?
Which one's that? They do numbers when it comes to his fastball, curveball, all that kind of stuff.
So is that 50 out of 100?
I don't know if it's 50 out of 100 or not. I'm not sure how that works. But he's a 24-year-old. He's a big left-handed pitcher. Those are hard to find. 15th round pick of the Blue Jays. This is why every draft pick matters.
Yeah.
Really. You never really know what can happen. And he's doing very,
who
very
knows,
good.
Maybe this guy could be the next Randy Johnson.
Okay, that's a big
Or
thing to say.
he can be a CC Sabathia. Like, we don't know. Or he could be nothing.
You know what? Time can tell. I mean, he's only 24 years of age. He's doing very, very well in Buffalo. I think, again, as time goes on, he might get some looks. T.J. Again, still don't know how to pronounce it. Zuch. I don't know how you pronounce it.
Zuch.
But anyways,
6'7".
He's a big man. 22 years of age in Double-A New Hampshire with Vladdy and all those crazy guys. Yeah. First round pick of the Blue Jays back in 2016. Mm-hmm. He had some injury problems last year, but he's with New Hampshire in Double-A this season. 2-2 with a 4.30 ERA. Not too bad, but hey, good-looking young player. Sean Reed-Foley. Him and Jordan Romano are the two guys that were in New Hampshire this year, and they were tearing it up. And deservedly so, got the call to AAA Buffalo just
another
this past
right-handed
week.
pitcher, too.
Problem, though, in his game 1, he got lit up in 1 inning, or in 2 1/3 innings. He gave up 8 hits, and was just really, really not great. So if you look at his ERA, don't look at that. It's a 30. But that'll change at any point, right? He has a good start next time. It's great to see. Richard Urania's on here. Jays fans, we know what he's all about. Miguel Geraldo, a young guy, so we're not going to go into him. Number 7 was Eric Perdino, again, 17-year-old, not even in the league. Same with
So bottom line with all
Geraldo.
these prospects, right, is that you don't know really what you have. I mean, yes, the first two guys, Bulbachet and obviously Vladdy. You know what you have with them. Superstars, right?
We're just going to run through these last ones real quick. Samad Taylor, got him in the Joe Smith trade last year. Not doing the greatest there in Lansing, only hitting .230. But again, he's 19 years old.
Right.
Whatever. Reese McGuire was brought over, actually. The funny thing is about that.
I know you already mentioned this trade about
Lariano.
Yeah, Lariano.
He was brought in with Lariano. We got Lariano and this guy and another outfielder for Drew Hutchison. Crazy. Nuts. But he's not doing the greatest there in Buffalo, so it's okay. Rowdy Tellez, I've continued to hype on this guy. He had a rough year last season, but with Buffalo this year, he's hitting .261. He's having a very good year. First baseman, he's 6'4", 220, a big man, and he's only 23 years of age. Very bright future for him. Catcher, Riley Adams, 21 years old, drafted last year. Again, rough time there in high A Dunedin, but again, it can change at any point. And really, Kevin Biggio, number 19, I'm just going to cut to the main guys here. I think he's going to be a stud.
I think you already went through the main guys, did you not?
Well, the guys that jump out at me, because I'm looking at some of these guys down here, and I'm not too sure who they are. Double A New Hampshire, he's hitting .312 with a really good on base.
Right.
I think Kevin Biggio is going to be a fantastic player. Look at that. Look at that New Hampshire infield. Biggio, who's...
it has promise for
any
sure.
other year without having Vladdy and Bo in Double A,
Yeah.
he'd be the guy. Like Connor Brown back in the day for the Leafs, right?
Yeah.
Vladdy is your third baseman. Bo, shortstop. Biggio, your second baseman. That's filthy. And I'm going to go down here. I don't really see anybody else that jumps out at me. Jordan Romano, again, he got the call to AAA Buffalo. I don't think he's started for them yet. Oh, he did. And he didn't do bad. Went 5 innings, 4 hits, 3 ERA of 3.6, and he got the win. Good job for him. But he's a little older. He's 25 already. But that's okay. Great things. The Jays have some great-looking prospects, and it's great to see.
And like I said, the last time we had a great prospect pool was what, Brett Laurie?
Yeah, it's been quite a while that we haven't been hyped up for a guy in quite a while.
And we were all hyped up for Brett Laurie.
Stroman and Sanchez, I guess, are the next guys. But
like we were all hyped up for Brett Laurie, and look what happened. So don't get too excited. Yes, I mean, we don't know. We don't know.
And actually, the crazy thing is, baseball draft is it this week or next week?
It's not televised, so it doesn't.
Well, you have to find the stream online, which is kind of greasy with it. But you know what? The Jays, they have the 12th overall pick. Obviously, the rough year last year got them the 12th.
Wait, so this is for last year?
Right, that's how they do it. Last year's draft. Yeah, so if the Jays come dead last this year, let's say they won't.
Then it's going to be this time next year.
Right, and it'll be the first overall pick. So
which
it's kind of
which
kind of
first
weird.
overall pick is not a for sure thing.
No, but you get a very good player that
Wasn't Justin Verlander first overall?
Something like that. But I know a lot of first round picks have been good, but there's been
Who
a
was
lot
that guy
really
that was drafted by the Astros a couple years back who was a first overall pick? I didn't pan out. 2013.
I have no idea. I know Alex Bregman was a top-notch pick. Carlos Correa, but he's an MVP. He won Rookie of the Year, so he's a stud.
I think it was 2012 by the Astros.
I wonder why, because we don't know him. We have never heard of him because he's a nobody.
But who knows?
For the Blue Jays, the draft's coming up very shortly. It's exciting because Jays fans, we need young guys. We want some prospects.
The 12 overall pick's pretty good. I mean, it's not bad.
Well, but put it in perspective, the Jays had the 20-something overall pick last year.
And then we got the guys we got.
Right. You got Warmouth, you got Nate Pearson, you got that kind of stuff. So with the Blue Jays, this year you get 12, pretty good spot.
Right.
Who are they going to draft? I don't know. Well, only time will tell. Maybe a high schooler, college, I don't know.
Who do you think that they should draft?
Well, with high schoolers, it's risky.
Well, not high schoolers. I'm talking about like either
people or like what position?
Yeah.
A left-handed pitcher is never a bad option. Those are always good to have.
But those are kind of rare to come by, no?
Actually, there's one going like in the top 3, which is kind of crazy to see. That he could be.
Could we trade up maybe, or does that work?
Honestly, I don't even. Not a lot of people know how the MLB draft works because you don't really know.
Do they walk up to the podium and with the
they
jersey?
I think they just do the pick his in. I think they do something like that. Anyways, because it really doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
But for the 12th overall pick, you
would love to see a left-handed.
There's always a risk when it comes to college players and high schoolers. The college players, they're more developed.
High schools are more raw.
You kind of. And they could have arm problems because they haven't thrown a lot.
But with a high school, I think they have a higher ceiling because
that's
they're so
the thing.
raw.
You take that risk of having those arm problems, right?
Shoulder,
that's the question.
arms.
That's the question.
Well, that's
you
for
have
pitchers,
with
not really
high
for
schoolers. Yeah, but
do
the Jays need any more fielders? No. Not really.
Well,
maybe an outfielder.
I'm just gonna say you have Granderson, who's not gonna come back next year.
Well, but they have Dwight Smith Jr. They have Anthony Alford that I mentioned.
Do you really see
Lourdes Gurriel? You have Teoscar Hernandez.
How many of those players did you just mention that are really like high?
Hernandez is very good.
Yeah.
Pilar, he's having a very good
Dwight
season.
Smith Jr. really.
Well, well, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Only time will tell, really.
I think the best player available at that position.
I think that's what they'll do. I think that's what they'll do.
I think that's what you smart drafters or smart GMs would do. Is to pick the best player available.
I think that's what you got to do.
Because right now the Jays need pretty much everything besides third base and maybe shortstop and
second base. Their infield is kind of fine in my eyes. That's what I'm thinking. Either an outfielder or a pitcher.
Yeah.
Catchers I think they're fine with right now anyways. But
plus, I don't think you draft a catcher in the top 10.
Unless they got some crazy ceiling. Which
that's like drafting a kicker or a punter in the NFL in the first round.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you got that right. Anyways.
But anyways, do you want to switch over to the Leafs
I think
now?
we're going to switch over and really not much more to talk about when it comes to the Blue Jays.
Pretty much, but the Marlies.
Holy smokes.
How are they doing?
They have won 9 straight playoff games.
Swept the Lehigh Valley Phantoms.
And that team was good.
So going from the first round, they barely beat, was it the Utica Comets?
Yeah.
The only reason why they beat the Utica Comets was Travis Dermott and Janssen coming down from the Leafs because it was pretty much even without them even there. And then and then they
Marlies
just kinda
won
brought
2
them
at
over the
home
edge,
and then lost both on the road.
And they beat the Syracuse Crunch in 6 or 5. I think it was 6.
They swept them in 4.
Syracuse.
Yeah, they swept Syracuse in 4. After the first round, they went 4-4.
Really?
They swept the last 2 series.
Oh, I thought I know they obviously swept Lehigh. I didn't think they swept Syracuse.
Yeah, the last 2 series they've swept Lehigh Valley.
Really?
And then Syracuse.
Wow, I did not know that. I thought the game went to 6.
They tore them up. Game 1 was 6-4, 2-1, 7-1, and then 2-1.
Look at that then. So we've won, well, technically 9 because we won in 7 against...
That's why I said 9 straight games, right?
9 straight games.
Exactly.
But Texas Stars, guys, don't, they did win
They're in the
Calder
finals
Cup,
for a reason.
And they won the Calder Cup. Can you just go to the roster quickly? They did win the Calder Cup. I think this was, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, something along those lines. They have Jason Dickinson, former Guelph Storm.
Jason Dickinson's the only guy I really see. Can you go by stats, dude?
Brian Flynn.
Dennis Kuryanov. He was a first-round 12th overall pick. No, but can you go by stats? Is that Scott Harrington?
Dylan Harrington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at... I don't really see any guys that jump out
Mike
at me
McKenna?
name-wise, but they're not really any guys that jump out at me.
Go to their stats.
Each player?
No.
I can't sort by the team stats there.
Yes, you can.
Okay, well, there you go.
Sorry, I guess James doesn't know how to use it. Yeah, okay.
The AHL app. I'm sorry, I don't. Filter.
There you go.
The Texas
Stars. Because Brian Flynn, he was on Montreal Canadiens. He's probably almost a point per game in the AHL, I'd imagine.
So Curtis McKenzie's got 14 points in 15 games. Brian Flynn with 12 and 15. Rupa Hintz 11. They don't really have any guys that jump out like crazy.
Is that Travis Morin? Jesus.
Travis Morin, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess the tough guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
But as a team, and I'm sorry, guys, Andreas Janssen doesn't look like he doesn't even look like he belongs in the AHL. And he's unbelievable.
The reason why they have gotten where they are is Mike McKenna. Goals against average of under 2 and a save percentage of 9.4.
Well, you could say the same thing about Garrett Sparks with us.
Well, yeah,
that's the only reason why we're here.
You could also say the goal scoring for the Marlies is
now
through the roof.
I would not be, because going into the 2018-19 season with the Leafs, the fourth line is obviously up in the air.
Yes.
We can both agree on that. Now, I would not be that opposed of bringing the Marlies first line and putting them on the fourth line. Grunstrom, who's on there? Grunstrom,
Janssen.
Janssen, and Altonen. Would not be opposed. Yeah. Maybe try it. You never know. Altonen, I feel like all 3 of them could have a shot at making the Leafs next year. Definitely Janssen, 100%. Altonen and Grunstrom are dark horses, if you will, but all 3 of them could definitely make the team.
And you look at the way this Marlies team is stacked up. You know the goaltending they've got with Garrett Sparks, but
and even Calvin Picard.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in double-digit scoring in the playoffs.
Over point per game.
Double-digit scoring, not point per game, but just double digits.
Jansson's
got 15 points in 9 games, and he's leading the team.
9 goals.
6 goals in 9 games, though.
Yeah.
Trevor Moore with 13 and 13.
And we drafted this guy in the 7th round, people. 7th round.
Yeah, he's a good player.
And Trevor Moore.
He's a good player.
Trevor Moore I thought he was a center. No, he's a winger.
Yeah. Ben Smith got 11. Grunstrom's got 10 and 13 games. Altonen's got 10 and 13 games.
Now, the one thing I'm not really sure about with this whole Marlies team is that I'm a little... Because Jeremy Bracco's a healthy scratch. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen him out there.
But... It's like...
They're too deep.
Colin Greening's playing, but Bracco isn't. I'm not too sure if I like that.
Yeah, no,
it's working, don't get me wrong, and I'm not taking anything away from Colin Greening, but...
I can't believe he's still on this team.
I can. You need to have those veteran guys on the Marlies, a Chris Mueller, Vincent Lavardier, or whatever his name is on the defense.
Yeah.
Ben Smith, Colin Greening. You have to have some of those players, but with the Leafs going into the 2018-2019 draft, this is a big one because you could see a Ben Smith not return to the Marlies.
Yeah, Bracco actually played 4 games in the playoffs. He scored a goal, and that was about it.
Well, 4 games.
And Colin Greening, 6 points in 13 games.
Well, how many games did we play? So that's 9...
13,
12?
13 games.
Okay. 13, there you go. He's a healthy scratch. But I'm not too sure how I like about that. But this draft is going to be very pivotal, very, very important, right, for the Leafs.
Because there's actually a lot of defensemen going around their spot.
Actually, they just updated the
Yeah, I did see that yesterday.
You're supposed to draft a winger, 6 foot.
It's not going to happen.
5.
We don't need another winger. We know that's not going to happen.
No. But, I mean, his stats aren't that bad, to be honest with you. He's 6'5". He's playing, I think, Oshawa, which last person we drafted from the Oshawa General. Well, he didn't play in Oshawa, but he went to Oshawa. Tyler Biggs.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about him a little bit because I don't even know where the heck he is now.
We're not.
There's a lot of
Sarah
defensemen.
Noel.
There's a lot of defensemen.
Saran Noel, 6'5", 205 from Oshawa, right wing. We don't need any wingers in this
There's
organization.
a lot of defensemen going around that spot.
Yes, there is. Jet Wu is a guy. Keandre Miller, you were talking about.
Yeah. I like both of him.
Now, I don't know why, but Ryan Merkley is not going in the first round, and his stats are pretty good. Let me just look him up quickly.
Well, maybe is he smaller than normal defenseman? I don't think so. I don't think he's all that different, really. But
Ryan Merkley, no, he's again, he's not huge. He's no 6'2", 6'3" guy. I think he's around 6 foot, maybe 5'11". Okay, so he's 5'11".
But he still has a very, very good year with Guelph. Yeah,
63 points, 67 games. Oh well, maybe that
67 points, 63 games. But he's a minus 29.
Right.
But Guelph could be a very bad team. You know, I mean, it's tough to say.
He's still 17 years
Plus
old.
Minus is very exactly.
Yeah. I don't know why he's not.
And he's right-handed. I think he is.
Yes, he is, and he's not going in the late first at least. I think that's a little bit.
But
of a
again,
stretch.
this is a mock draft. That can change at any point in time.
No, I could. But if we do pick him, I just don't want people to say, "Oh, the Leafs are going off the board with this pick." Like, not really.
Look at his stats and you look at the way he plays. I mean,
yeah,
you never know.
But going to the Leafs now, we talked about defensive woes.
Yeah.
Right now, what good teams usually do is they promote players from the AHL and give them a shot rather than trading for a big name guy like a Chris Tanev, like a Trouba we've been mentioning, or Rumbles, or even a Hanifin.
Is that what you're trying to get at?
No, I'm not trying to get at Liljegren. Justin Hall might be a good option. He's no top 4, but he's looked very good with the Marlies. He's
in the minimal games with the Leafs, he did
2
very
goals
well.
in 2 games, right? So give him a shot, but he's known as a 6'7" defenseman. Right?
Yeah,
injury replacement.
I don't really want to go into the season with him as one of our guys.
But you're going to have to give up something to get something good.
Right. But with all the cap leaving,
yeah.
Does that leave an opening for a very good defenseman?
So Bozak 4.2.
JVR 4.5.
4.5. So what? That's 8.7.
2.5.
It's 3.
Sorry, that's Leo at 2.5. Sorry.
Leo 2.5. So okay, so
that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
I'll get my calculator out right now. Let's do this.
Because that's a big thing. That's a lot of money right there.
That's why I'm saying it. John Javers would not be out of the question. Okay, so let's just
I'm not saying that. No.
4.5 plus
4.2.
4.2. I'm actually getting my calculator out.
Yeah, this is plus 3.
Funny. Plus 2.5. With those
$14.2 million gone.
Gonzo, right? And if you...
Now, I mean, minus 6 from that, because that's William Nylander. Let's say $6 million.
True. Minus 6.
So you still got $8.2 million left over.
To spare.
Exactly.
Now, I don't think the Leafs...
Do they go out and sign Mitch Marner now, or what?
But the thing is about the Leafs is that they don't need quantity, because we already have that with the Marlies. We need quality players. We need that one guy who can maybe afford
we need
to
a very
make
good
a
right-handed
6-7 mil.
defenseman.
No, I think that we have the assets to trade for one of those, because cap space, because John Carlson, if he wins the Stanley Cup this year, he's going to want north of 7 mil. North.
Yeah. Yeah, but he deserves it.
No, he does deserve it, but I always feel eerie about giving a guy who's never had this point total ever in his career, giving him that much money. What do you think of it?
It's tough to say. I mean, with Carlson, I'd say he's a constant 50-point guy.
Right, but he's not much more than that other than this year. That's why I'm a little bit iffy about, okay, if you sign him, will he turn into a Mike Green? That's the only guy I can really think of. A massive contract because he had one, Norris candidate year. Yes, like he said, he's looked good over his whole career, a 45, 50-point defenseman, which is amazing. He's up to 70 points this year, and I don't know if he can sustain that.
Well, I mean, 70-point defensemen are very, very hard to come by.
That's why I'm saying I don't know if
he'd want a lot more than 7.
Especially him being on the open market.
So I'm looking at his stats here with the Washington Capitals. Yeah, he's really better. I mean, he had 1 year where he was a 50.
Last year he was a down year.
In 2014, 2015, he was a 55-point defenseman, but because the lack of play, the last 2 years they've been down. And the 68-point year this season with 15 goals, a career high in basically everything. I don't know.
Right-handed shot, can put up 70 points. Like you said, you're looking north of 7, maybe even 8.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
are the Leafs willing to do that. I have no clue.
And I think that we should trade for a right-handed defenseman or even left, making less, like a Justin Falk. I don't know if I'm too keen on that, but someone that can play match to match with Riley.
Somebody different than just like a homegrown guy.
Yeah, because we've seen we can't. If we had Justin Hall in the lineup next year, we're not getting past the first round. No. That's not a significant
good
move.
Player, but he's not going to...
We need someone to play minute for minute with Morgan Riley. That's what we need.
And that can't be Ron Hainsey.
No, and it can't be Zaitsev. Yes, Zaitsev can put up 30 points. We get it, but he's an average defenseman, I think.
Defensive defenseman, yeah.
At best.
So, I mean, there's a lot of questions out there. And we'll talk about free agency more in the future, I guess, because the draft is coming up more. And that's more important. Yeah, exactly. But with this team, and I don't know why I have this feeling, I feel like Trevor Moore is going to have a big impact on the Leafs.
I think so.
The way he's done his thing with the Marlies, he went through the WHL. He's gone through his thing.
WHL?
Wherever the heck he went.
The NCAA.
Whatever, okay. Yeah. I think I'm thinking... who am I thinking of?
He went?
The overager. Adam Brooks. I'm thinking of Adam Brooks instead. The overager.
Yeah, he put up 130 points, and he's a rookie on the Marlies. He's 22, actually.
Yeah, he's not really a rookie anymore for our standards. But Trevor Moore, I think, he's very good. I think he might get a chance. Maybe not this year, like as in this year coming up.
You never know.
Well, depending on injuries and depending on what happens.
He is 23, so he's at that age where he needs to make that jump.
Yeah. Or else the Leafs are going to just like let him walk or use him as trade bait. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
Completely on the Marlies forever. A farmhand, if you will.
Yeah, like a Ben Smith or like Chris Mueller, who we've never heard of. Corey Conacher. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, but anyways, so now the Leafs just recently signed Kashmir Kaskasuo to a 2-year, 2-way contract. Now, do you think that this could be the end for either Calvin Pickard or Garrett Sparks?
I think it's absolutely the end of one of them.
Yeah, because I asked you this question, and I'm going to ask you guys also this question. Now, so players on the ECHL team, the Orlando Solar Bears, I don't know if they have a full 2-way contract. I don't think so. I think they have a separate ECHL contract.
I think they do.
I think so. So that means that Kashmir Kaskasuo
is a Marley next year.
Is a Marley or even a Leaf. I don't think a Leaf, but he can be sent up to the Leafs if somehow something happens. Right. But he's a Marley. And they can't go into the Leafs, season with a 3.
You got McElhaney, you got Pickard and Sparks. Well, one of them's got to go.
Yeah.
And who's that going to be? I don't know. It's personally, it's tough to say because with Pickard, he's more of an NHL established goalie because of all the whole year with Colorado,
and he's proved himself as a fringe starter.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. He could be the guy to go, but then you have Sparks, who had a really good AHL year, has that potential still,
but hasn't proven really that much. Right. I mean, hasn't really got the shot, but hasn't proven that much.
So there's a lot of iffy things. I don't know which one of the two.
See, I don't know.
Isn't Sparks younger?
No, I think they're the exact same age, to be honest with you. Sparks is, I think, 24, 25 now.
Wow, I can't believe that, eh?
I remember drafting him.
I feel like it was a while ago that he was drafted.
But he was actually a 7th-round pick, another 7th-round pick. But see, I don't think the Leafs are in love with Garrett Sparks, because why wouldn't they be
they're not in love with him, clearly. No. He seems like a very scrambly goalie.
Yeah.
But
Calvin Pickard, how old? 24, 25?
Well, it doesn't say his age, but he's a 92, and Sparks is a 93. So it's 1 year difference.
Yeah, so pretty much the same age. But if now, that begs the question, an unproven NHL goalie, but an all-star, multiple all-star seasons as an AHL goalie, what can you get?
I don't know.
See, I don't think that we would just do a straight-up Garrett Sparks for pick or player trade. No. I think we would package him in with something. Maybe package him in with a... I'm not throwing any names at... Well, I kind of am, but I'm not speculating anything. Maybe either a Connor Brown or a Kapanen. Throw either those two in there and a Garrett Sparks. You could get something. I don't know what.
No, it's remained to be seen. Kyle Dubas is now in the seat to do that.
Is this the first... I think this is the first Kyle Dubas move, if you will, a signing.
I think it's a very bold one.
Because, I don't know if we actually talked about this, but the Leafs, Par Lindholm, sorry.
Yeah, I know, it sounds right. It sounds right when you say it. Go, you're good. It's all good.
So, we signed him, but I don't think we talked about the other 3 signings. We signed Pierre Engvall to, I think, an entry-level deal.
And he's been great with the Marlies.
He slowed down a little bit, but yeah, he's looked great. What's his name? He's a right-handed Russian defenseman, Igor.
Oh yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I think it's Orjaganov.
He's like, what, 25, 26 years old?
He's basically looked at as a tougher version of Roman Polak.
Tougher?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And a bigger. So, I'm not looking at him.
We can't look at these guys as our saviors, because that's not going to happen.
No, but, I mean, I look at Pierre Engvall as a guy that I am hyped for a little bit.
Because
Igor Zhigana, Par Lindbaum, and there was one more guy, Jesper Lindgren. Lindholm. And then Jesper Lindgren, who we drafted 2014. Right-handed shot.
Again, all these guys are just guys that you're just going to give a chance to in the Marlies and see what they can do.
And we have to fill up the roster because who knows? These guys couldn't even.
It's funny. I have this weird feeling that the Leafs are going to do what they did back in the day with Grabner and trade a bunch of prospects because we have too many. Right now.
Well, I mean, we signed me. Yeah, okay. You know what? Yeah, that is true because we're pretty much capped off. Jeremy Bracco is a
second-round pick, and he's a very good-looking player.
He's a healthy scratch.
In the playoffs.
You
want him to get that development if you do.
But then again, you have to be a little bit...
But where does he fit in the Leafs?
But, I mean, I don't know if he's really Leaf-ready next year because he hasn't...
Where's he going to play? He's a winger.
Center.
Is he a center or winger?
I thought he was a center.
I think they might be playing him on the wing.
Probably, because I know they drafted him as a center out of, was it the
Kitchener?
U.S.? No, he went to Kitchener.
Right,
the USHL or whatever. But, yeah, we could possibly see him. I don't think he'd be a Leaf next year. I think that Altonen has a better shot than Bracco, to be honest with you. But he's still 21, 22. So...
Yeah, he's a right winger. They drafted him as a center, but he's a right winger. And he's 5'11", 171. He's a very small guy.
And with an Altonen who's 25, has more... He started out slow, though, but he's looked very good in the second half of the season.
And very good in the playoffs.
Right. So with that being said, and with a Colin Greening leaving, and with the, all these veteran guys probably leaving... I don't know if you can afford to trade that many prospects for a Michael Grabner type of player.
Well, I'm not saying they're going to, but I'm saying it could possibly happen.
It could, but with all these veterans leaving the Marlies, I don't think...
They could re-sign them. They could re-sign a Ben Smith, a Chris Mueller, Vincent Lavorte. They could sign any of those guys.
Yeah.
To an AHL contract for another year or something.
But only time will tell.
Oh, of course.
No.
I mean, right now we can't really do a whole lot. All we can do is speculate.
Exactly.
But now we're going to move...
coming up, but do you want to move over?
Yeah, we'll move to the basketball now. Do you want
to talk about around the NHL a little bit?
Yes, we'll do that first.
So, Eastern Conference... we did talk about the Eastern Western Conference finishing. Tampa versus Washington, Vegas versus Winnipeg. We did talk about that last podcast.
I think we did.
I think we did too. So, the Vegas Golden Knights are playing the Washington Capitals, obviously, and they are 3 wins away from winning the Stanley Cup.
That was a nuts game. Back and forth craziness.
It was funny because I saw it was 1-0 Vegas. I was like, okay, and then it was 2-2 at the end of the first. I'm like, what the heck just happened?
It was insane. All over the place.
Now, I don't know if you watched the full game.
Yep.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Okay. Tom Wilson. Now, the only thing the Capitals could possibly do to throw Vegas off their game is to play dirty. And that's what Washington's doing.
I wouldn't say dirty.
That was a dirty hit.
How?
It was interference. He didn't have the puck. It was a blindside hit. Shoulder to shoulder, I get it, but it was way late. There's no need for that.
But if that's anybody else hitting somebody... Are we talking about it? No, but it's Tom Wilson. And that's what I hate about the NHL right now.
But he didn't get a
penalty. Because last in the Tampa series...
I know.
Wilson got suspended in the Pittsburgh series for that hit, and we're all like, okay, wow, he got a lot of games. Oh, my God. Then he gets hit from behind from Anton Stroman.
Yeah.
And he gets nothing. Why? Because it's Anton Stroman and not Tom Wilson. Wilson said after that, he's like, if that was me making the hit, I'm getting suspended for that.
Well, serves you right. Because
why?
Because he has the track record. So
it's a dirty hit. No, he should get suspended nonetheless.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm not even about that.
Was
it a tough hit? Yes.
Yeah.
Marchessault wasn't looking at all? Yes.
But he didn't get penalized on the puck.
Just left.
I don't think it just.
It wasn't a big, blatantly obvious 100% interference.
Really?
Was it? Could you have called it? Yeah, you probably could have called it interference.
Yeah.
But is it like puck's gone 20 seconds down the way and Buddy just clobbers him, and it's a blatantly interference call? No, I wouldn't say so.
I mean,
if that was Nate Schmidt hitting Andrei Burakovsky late, would we be talking about that?
But the thing is that...
Would we be talking about it?
He didn't get anything for that hit. If, let's just say, because he did leave. Marchessault did leave. To go to the locker room. Okay. So he was obviously injured, hurt, if
well,
you will.
do have a big hitter coming at you,
right?
You don't see him
but
coming.
with a track record like Tom Wilson,
he won't get suspended.
I'm not saying he'll get suspended for it, but we're comparing Anton Stroman, who I don't think has ever had a track record of any dirty hits.
You shouldn't worry about who the player is. If it's a dirty hit, it's a dirty hit.
So, okay, so let's just say that Brad Marchand, dirty hit on, I don't know, Kapanen. Okay. And
he should get suspended.
Okay.
And if Kapanen hits him the same way, it should be a suspension.
But
it shouldn't be the case.
But I think that the league looks at, okay, this guy's a repeat offender, and he's known, and it's Tom Wilson.
No, I get that. But Stroman got zilch. If he got 1 game or 2 games, fine. But he got nothing.
Yeah.
He had nothing at all for a hit from behind. A clear as day hit from behind. I don't believe that. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I got the video actually.
No, I saw the video, and it was a big hit. He didn't see him coming. I don't know what else to say. That's tough to see because I don't know when the puck left. It's hard to.
That's kind of like a vine almost. But I mean, it is what it is. But for Washington to come out of this series with a Stanley Cup, they have to throw Vegas off their game, and I think they have to play a little dirty, and I don't blame them for doing it.
I don't know about dirty, but physical. Really physical.
Physical in a guy, because Tom Wilson's that kind of guy to get under your skin. I don't think necessarily Vegas has that other than Ryan Reeves, but I don't think Ryan Reeves he's a fighter. I don't think he gets under your skin.
No.
Tom Wilson gets under your skin. You can say that same thing about
Brad Marchand,
Nazem Kadri, Jake Dodson, maybe on Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Brandon Gallagher.
Yeah, and, Reeves is a tough cookie.
Yeah, very much so.
But I don't think he gets under your skin. He's just tough, and he fights a lot, right? So, but again, Vegas is 3 months away. And
it's incredible.
And actually, that pregame show was pretty cool. I don't know if you saw it.
It went on a little too long, I thought, but it was cool.
It's like 10 minutes.
It's a pregame. It's like a 10-minute play.
Yeah.
The guys just warmed up, and now they're just standing there, and they're sitting there for 10 minutes.
Well, it is Vegas, so they got to put on.
No, I get that. No, it was a pretty cool show. I just thought at times I'm like, okay, like it's cool. But let's get Disney. Let's get the hockey going here, boys.
Kind of, yeah. But I
don't know. I thought it was really. I mean, it's an up in the air series. I have no clue what's going to happen.
Who are you going for?
As much as I've gone against Vegas this entire time, but I can't do it. I cannot go against them.
So you're saying Vegas?
I'm going to say Vegas in 7.
Really?
I think Washington's going to play well at home. I think they're going to take the next one on the road. I don't know.
I think Vegas is going to do it. The thing is about Vegas is that I want to see Ovi with that cup, man, because he's just so outspoken and he just man. See, I want Washington. I want Washington to beat Vegas.
I do too.
But I don't think it's going to happen.
I want Washington too.
And the thing is about Washington is that they were a really good road team, and they can't even win on the road.
It's weird. Playoffs are a different story.
Vegas in 6.
You think they're going to win in Washington? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because Washington has not looked good at home throughout the playoffs.
It doesn't really matter. They've got it. They've got through it.
It does kind of matter because they were, pretty much known as a road team for this entire playoffs. And if they can't even win on the road, what makes you think a road team can win at home?
Well, people, honestly, the great thing about the NHL, look, Washington can lose the first 2 on the road, and everyone's like, oh, they're a great road team, like you're saying, and then they go home and win both, and everyone's like, well, that changed our minds.
Yeah.
It's
you don't know, but
really never know. I don't know. I think Vegas in 7, though? You say Vegas in 6, just because I'm done going against them, because they continue to prove everybody wrong. So we're just going to go with them here.
Perfect. And they beat the Jets in 5, which I still can't believe that even happened.
At all.
Not at all. But I do want to switch over to the
We'll go to the NBA.
Basketball here. And for the 4th straight season, again.
Stupid.
The Golden State Warriors are facing off versus the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Every Houston fan in the world is going to say, oh, this was rigged, this is garbage, this is rigged.
But they were going to say that regardless.
What? Golden State has had one of the easiest paths to the finals I've ever seen. 2015, Kyrie Irving goes down with injury, done for the season.
2015?
2016, I think it was, or maybe I'm thinking 2016. The next year, Kawhi Leonard. That's that gone. Even with Kawhi, I don't think they would have beat him.
Well, this season as well, too. Kawhi goes down. They face the Spurs, and then
here they're down 3-2. Oh, Chris Paul, he's done for the rest of the series. Didn't
Well,
play
no,
game
let's
6 or
just
7.
yeah. Well, let's just I kind of so game 1, round 1, they faced the Spurs without Leonard,
Yep.
if you will. Beat them in 5. You expected them to be swept. I thought they would win at least 1 or 2, but whatever. Then they faced New Orleans.
Without Boogie.
Without Boogie. Oh yeah, there you go. And then they obviously demolished them in 5.
Yep.
And then they faced
Utah, or was that the other way? No, sorry, that was Houston. Sorry.
And then they finished Houston. Chris Paul looked a beast the first 3-4 games.
Exactly.
And
then he goes down with injury.
Yeah. So
they've had a lot of luck on their side when it comes to injuries. It could be a conspiracy. I don't know.
Is it weird for me to say that Golden State should have taken care of Houston in less games?
I said so. I thought they would.
See,
I said Golden State. I don't know how many games I said it was, but I said they were going to win it. I didn't think.
You said 6.
Okay.
Well, I said Houston in 7, so I was rolling with Houston. I really thought that Houston would have won on the road in Game 7.
I didn't think so.
They came back though. They were down what? 2-1?
Who, Houston?
Yeah.
Still lost the series.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter at that point.
So going forward with Houston, Chris Paul is an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah.
Clint Capella is an unrestricted free agent.
Unrestricted.
Yes.
Wow. That's a big one.
See, they're obviously going to bring back Chris Paul. He's going to want a max contract, though, and I don't know what I feel about that for a 33-year-old wanting
tough.
A max contract.
Depending how many years how many years?
It's usually 4.
That's a long time for an older guy.
He's not really showing his age at all.
No, he's not. But
he's only gotten better, I think.
That number is still there, and it's still a little scary.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're Houston, but I mean, you got to keep Chris Paul. With that chemistry, you got to keep him, even if he wants max.
Everyone was talking about how that won't work. How they want the ball all the time. Blah blah blah. It works so well.
And with Paul George, it didn't work out.
But then you look at James Harden. He didn't really have a great game. He had 32, yes.
But he didn't take over like he was supposed to.
He took 29 shots. He was 12 of 29.
But I'm sorry, though. In the second half, Steph Curry and KD went on a tear.
They went on a
tear. So
Curry had a double-double, 27 and 10. Right. Durant with 34. And they both shot, Curry shot 45%, but both guys were around the 50% mark. They were fantastic. Klay Thompson was on fire as well. I thought he was great. He only had 19, but he shot the ball with extreme confidence, and he was 8 of 13 shooting. He was great. That team...
This had to be the worst outcome, in my opinion, because I wanted at least see a different change.
I said this was going to happen again.
Well, I think every fan knew it was going to happen, but nobody wanted it to happen. That's why people were saying, like myself, said... Boston versus Houston would be awesome.
That would have been nice, but it wasn't going to happen.
No, switching over to the East.
But you know what? As much as everyone's like, oh, same finals here again, I got to give 100% credit to LeBron James.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone counted this guy out. Everyone. Including us.
I thought that they were going to lose in Boston, because Boston has not lost a home game in the playoffs.
Get to the conference finals. I thought with Indiana, I'm like, you know what? The Indiana's a really good team. They could push them.
No.
It went to 7, and it was a really tight game.
I thought...
With the Raptors, I thought, maybe this is their year. No, out in 4. And then with Boston, I thought, well, maybe, because Boston's had the Cinderella season.
Like you said, you can never count out LeBron James until he is out. He's not out. No. He's in the finals.
He's still the best in the East.
8th straight appearance.
8 straight finals.
It is actually funny. I saw a tweet. The last time that he didn't make a finals, the Saints won the Super Bowl.
Wow.
iPads weren't a thing.
Wow.
I think the first iPhone came out, or the second iPhone just got released. The iPhone 3G, whatever.
Oh my God.
It is. So 2009, 2008.
That is insane.
2009. So
he's the GOAT.
Is he better than MJ?
There's still a debate, and it'll always be the debate.
And it's close. Now it is so close. Because he's carrying this team, man.
Well, he really has.
And think about it. They had no Kevin Love.
No.
They had no Kevin Love Game 7.
LeBron James takes over.
So that begs the question. Who do you have winning the NBA championship?
I've never done this before. I'd love to see LeBron win it. I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, me too.
But seeing what he's done with this team, it's remarkable.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him win it. But Golden State, I think they're going to win it in 6.
Oh, you think it's going to be? We've seen the Cavs falter versus the Boston Celtics versus the Indiana Pacers. And LeBron, when he scores 42 points and he gets no help from his teammates, what's there to say about it? And I think this is going to happen against Golden State.
But no team is... Right, he's not going to have any help, and that's the problem.
Well, I'm not going to say he's not going to have any help, but I think maybe for 1 or 2 games he's not.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah. I think he's going to go to 7 personally.
With Golden State being the home team in Game 7.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Because Cleveland fans. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Home court. Or sorry, we're fourth place. Doesn't really. Sorry, so fourth place. Fourth place.
Fourth place
doesn't really matter.
You know what? LeBron James had an unbelievable playoff, so why stop here? I'm gonna say Cavs in 7.
You say Cavs in 7.
I'm gonna say they're gonna win another championship on Golden State's home floor.
I'm gonna say Golden State in 6, but I would love to see LeBron win it again. Just because of what he has done.
And just because just everyone counting him out and everybody saying, oh, he has nobody around him, which is kind of true in one sense, but he always seems to find a way. He always seems to take that to another level. If he's losing in the fourth quarter, he somehow
LeBron
wins.
is a freak.
Yeah, he's unstoppable.
He's 33 years of old. Or
years of age.
Yeah, and he's like, he's playing like he's 25.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I mean, that's all you got to say. And me and you both being Raptors fans,
we've seen this all too much.
Yeah. And going to the Raptors.
Well, you know what? We can talk a little bit about free agency.
Right. And with this team, I don't necessarily think we can get a marquee unrestricted free agent, but the restricted free agents are very interesting.
Clint Capella, restricted free agent.
Oh, he is restricted.
Yeah,
I thought he was unrestricted. So we got DeAndre Jordan, which I don't think. Now, the one player would be Aaron Gordon. He's
restricted.
I know he is restricted.
Very good power forward. He's a very big guy, strong guy. And
coming from the Magic, too. I mean, do we really have not much good success with power forwards coming from Orlando?
No, we really don't, Serge Ibaka.
Yeah,
but there's other options.
Julius Randle. I think Randle's going to stay with the Lakers. Let's see.
Jabari Parker's it's the name here. Isaiah Thomas, Tyreek Evans.
Tyreek Evans wouldn't be that bad of an option, to be honest with you.
Well, he won't want.
He won't want that much.
He won't want backup minutes. The guy averaged almost 20 points a game this year with the Grizzlies. Now, the Grizzlies, I know, they're the Grizzlies.
But with us trading away players, you work through free agency and
right.
Zach LaVine, Carmelo Anthony. I think Melo's going to stay with
Derek Favors, but again, he's a Serge Ibaka to me. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
He had such a high ceiling.
Trevor Reason, no thank you.
Kanter's probably going to stay with the Knicks, I think. That's what they said.
I think so too. Will Barton's a good bench guy.
Yusuf Nurkic, he had a very good year. Avery Bradley is a very good defensive shooting guard.
I'm saying, if you trade away a Kyle Lowry, you work through free agency. And you know what, a
guy? J.J. Redick.
He's going to stay. He's going to stay with
it's official?
The 76ers. Well, it's not official, but he had 17 points per game. I don't think he's going to want a max contract, but he's going to want close to a max.
I don't know about that. He's really old now, so I don't know.
He's not. How old is he? He's like 30, 31, isn't he?
I'm going to look that up here real quick.
Yeah. But I don't know if the 76ers could afford him with all the young players they have.
Well, that's the question.
But this going forward, I think we'd be better off
33.
Getting... Oh, okay. Well, he still got juice in that tank. But with the Raptors, restricted free agency, yes. Unrestricted, I mean, if you
there's
get
one
both.
guy that I looked at, and what was the problem for this team this year? Shooting the three. That's a big problem.
Yeah.
Wayne Ellington, who was on the Miami Heat this year, was fantastic at shooting the three. He could be an option for this team. Will it happen? Heck, I have no clue.
It's going to be hard to get free agents to want to come to Toronto after what has happened.
Yep, it's going to be a really tough time.
But all we can do right now is hopefully just get maybe just 1 second rounder for somebody.
And then you think of Fred VanVleet. Where's he going to be with this team? Is he going to be with this team next year? I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
We talked about this before, and I don't know if he's gonna want at least a 2 or 3 year deal.
Yeah.
And personally, I don't think that I would necessarily want to give it to him. I mean, we have nothing to lose, don't get me wrong, but Norman Powell.
Yeah. And can he take that next step next year? There's so many questions for this team. Like, if they don't go into into next year with a different team, let's say, can Norman Powell live up to the contract? Can OG Anunoby take that next step? Can DeLon Wright, Fred VanVleet, Siakam, and Pirtle all take that next step?
I think all those players you just said on the bench can. Norman Powell, dude.
I don't know. He could come out next year and have a great year, and then we're like, well, what happened last year? Yeah. I don't know. I have no clue.
It's hard to say, but I don't know. With this team, like you said, like your famous line, there's not much to talk about.
Well, there isn't, because I mean, the coach search is still on for the Toronto Raptors. They really haven't signed anybody yet.
So I don't think it's Jerry Stackhouse then.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think because
we've heard a couple other assistant coaches from the Spurs. I don't know.
If it was Jerry Stackhouse, I would think they would
have been done by now.
Yeah, it would have.
Like the Dubas and Lou Lamoriello thing that was quick.
I don't think Masai's comfortable with bringing in Jerry Stackhouse. I mean, I don't blame him, but again, he's in the organization. He won a championship with the Raptors 905.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
weird, but Masai is the guy, and just hopefully we can.
In Masai, we trust. Let's just try that and see if it works.
So right, a little bit shorter podcast. Yeah. Not too much talk about me and you are sweating buckets up here in the studio.
It's crazy in here. We got the questions now. You said we had a couple questions. What's up?
2 questions. So Michael,
what's up?
Is this time to bring up Vladdy now that Donaldson is gone? You already mentioned this. No.
I mean, the way I talked about it, I think it was in the last podcast. I don't know if I did or not, or if I didn't, I'll mention it again. I have heard, and I asked the guys in the comments section of the Jays videos. I said, I asked you guys, with Vladdy and with years of experience in the arbitration and all that kind of stuff, if he came up to the big leagues in September, would that be an issue?
Right.
And no, it's not. It would not affect his thing. So I'm like, okay, wait till September. If his team stinks, let it stink.
Right.
And then bring up the prospects in September and let them do their thing. So, Michael, is it time to bring up Vladdy? No.
Yeah.
And then we get Stefano saying, Indiana won 3 games versus the Cavs. Boston won 3 games against the Cavs. And Toronto, well, we know what happened.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's all you got to say.
Yeah. Jeez. And, Messina. He was one of the assistant coaches for the Spurs.
Okay. I wasn't sure what he was talking about. He's Italian, like Stefano.
There you go. Anytime you can learn stuff from Greg Popovich, I think.
Why aren't you that keen on bringing in the Raptors assistant coaches right now as a head coach? Because I knew you.
I am. Like I'd be totally. Well,
Nick Nurse,
Nick Nurse, and Rex Kalamian. I don't. Just because they're so used to Dwayne Casey, and I'm not sure how much things would actually change. But bringing in a guy like Stackhouse who knows what he wants, bringing in the guys from the Spurs, I think would be a good idea if they can do it.
But like me and you just mentioned, if it was Stackhouse, it already would have been Stackhouse.
Right. So
it's not
time will
Stackhouse.
tell. Yeah. I have no idea. But bringing in Messina, I'm not sure how you say his name.
Messina.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. We're only going to have to wait and see when it comes to that, though. Maybe in the next podcast we'll have a new coach. I don't know. But only time will tell. All right.
And knowing our luck, it's going to happen right when we finish.
Yeah, of course. Right from the podcast. Raptors signed Jerry Stackhouse.
Gotta wait next week.
Yeah.
By the way, so is it next week? Where it's going to be on what, Thursday?
I'm not sure the exact day, but it will be uploaded same time, just a different day. I'll keep you guys posted in the videos about that and on Twitter, obviously, what the time and date for the next podcast
so
will be.
I think that's going to wrap it up a little bit.
It's going to wrap this baby up. A little bit of a shorter one, just over an hour.
Because like you say...
Not much to talk about. But, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this
we love talking to you guys. Follow up Twitter. Follow James' main channel. Follow the podcast channel. Link's going to be in the description, like always. So we're going to talk to you guys.
Well, we'll talk to you guys next week sometime. Again, we'll keep you guys posted.
It's probably going to be on a Thursday.
Thursday or Friday. In there somewhere.
And you're going to talk to
them. And I'll talk to them tomorrow. I'll talk to you guys tonight.
Oh, tonight.
As the Jays take on the Red Sox in Game 2 of that series. I don't know what to expect. I don't know.
Watch. Maybe Mookie Betts.
You know who's pitching today for the Jays? I totally forget. Is it Gavilio? No, it's Marco Estrada. Watch, he'll throw a no-hitter.
At this point, does it matter?
Marco Estrada will probably throw a great game, and the Jays will get 1 hit.
That's all she wrote. Another loss.
That's it. Or the Jays will get everything going.
Or maybe
and play
you could
great
see Morales again. Like, we don't know what his potential is.
All right, let's not get too excited there, bud. All right, but and nonetheless, I'll talk to you guys tonight as the Jays look to actually win a game against the Red Sox and continue their win-loss time right now with Marco Estrada against Rick Porcello, 7-10 first pitch. Hey, Evan and I will talk to you guys next week sometime as we hope to talk about some good things about the Leafs, the Raptors, and maybe some positives.
Hopefully some news, too.
Hopefully some actual news to talk about with the Raptors and Leafs. And for the Blue Jays, hopefully they actually play some good baseball. So we thank you guys so much, and we will talk to you guys then.